Perfect.
Take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking, these next 20 minutes or so with us. I have a really good topic that I think everyone will hopefully get some benefit out of. But specific, woo, that did not come out right. Specifically is what I was trying to say. We're going to be talking about cost-effective strategies for lead generation simply by tapping into your social media platforms. So we all know social media really can offer real estate agents a powerful platform in itself to connect with potential clients. It can help you showcase your properties. It can help you really just build a strong online presence and relationships that help you to bring in leads. So it really allows you to reach that larger audience beyond where you are physically located, beyond your immediate network. So using social media can help you to really just foster a more direct interaction and engagement with potential leads to help you build out those relationships, so that when they are ready to either buy or sell a home, they come to you because you've already spent the time nurturing them to turn them into a client of yours. Plus, also too, just to point out, compared to really offering any type of traditional methods, social media can actually be used in a very budget-friendly way, as long as you're leveraging essentially the platforms how they were meant to be used. So that's really kind of what we're going to hone down on today. The first point to bring up specifically on that when we talk about leveraging platforms, how they're meant to be used. The biggest part here when we talk about social media, specifically for any type of lead generation, is really identifying the right social media platforms for your business in order for them to actually generate leads. Now, more specifically, what do I mean by that when I say identifying the right platforms? So in order to essentially indicate, should I be focusing my efforts on Instagram? Should I be focusing my efforts on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, right? We know there's what feels like 500 million social media apps you could be on. The good news is you don't have to be on all of them. The other news is you really want to just make sure when you're selecting a social media platform that you essentially are meeting your audience where they are at. And so in order to do this, you need to, one, understand your target audience. Are you looking at first-time home buyers? Based on first-time home buyers, or what is their cohort? Are they millennials, Gen Z? Are you focused more on maybe empty nesters, right? Are those people more on Facebook, right? Because that's what they grew up with. So really, it's going to be about making sure that you're taking the time to understand the demographics of your target audience and their behaviors, their age, their are male, female, all of that can play into it, where their careers are, that can play into it as well. What is their position at work? Can also play into what social media platforms that they themselves are using. So when we talk about meeting your audience where they're at, essentially what we're getting down to is you want to obviously be on the platforms that your audience is using. It doesn't make sense for you to be putting all of your effort into Instagram if the audience you're trying to reach is on Facebook. And so that's why it's going to be really important for you to take time to just research engagement, research your user demographics on these social platforms to help you to determine which is most suitable for you and your business. So just as some questions you can really ask yourself to help you identify these platforms is obviously, which platforms are my target audience using? I notice I work a lot with maybe company leaders, organizers. So I'm noticing that they're really focusing their efforts on LinkedIn. Or again, I'm really, working a lot lately with millennials and Gen Z, and they're really heavily focused on Instagram. So what platform is your specific target audience working with? Make sure you're taking the time to develop those platforms for your business. Two, you want to make sure you ask yourself, what content are they most engaged with? So are they reacting best to videos, right? Because the whole purpose of these social media networks are to really harness those relationships and get people to be interacting and engaging with you and your business. And so you need to figure out what content is your target audience actually, responding to, commenting on, liking, so that you can create more content as such. And then finally, you want to make sure that you're just asking yourself which platforms are really supporting all of your marketing initiatives. And this is where, again, having multiple social media platforms that you put some time and energy into can be beneficial. Maybe you use Instagram mostly to offer and show pictures and images on your listings that you have, but you're using Facebook to share really valuable insights and resources because, Facebook and LinkedIn offer link sharing as well. So really just want to make sure you're considering, you're taking all of this into consideration when you're identifying those right social media platforms to make sure that it's aligning with your business and it's working with you to actually help generate and bring in those leads. And then finally, when we talk about identifying the right platform so that you're really setting yourself up for success for lead generation on your social media, make sure you take a moment to do a competitor analysis. So this is where you're actually going to study the social media presence of your competitors for just insights into maybe new strategies you can adopt or pieces of content that you can leverage to essentially outperform your competitors. So if you notice, I've lost a couple clients to Sally May over here. I'm going to take a moment to really look at her social media, which platforms she's using, what content she's posting, what is getting and garnering the most interest. Not so that I can copy her, because obviously we're all different and we need to all make sure that we're standing out as real estate professionals on our own. But how can I actually take the strategies and efforts and pieces of content that she is using and make it better so that it works for me? So you definitely want to make sure you take a moment to really conduct some competitor analysis for your social media platforms. But all that to say, all of this is going to really help you, especially when we talk about identifying specifically which platforms you should be using. It is going to help you to really pick out those specific cost-effective strategies to generate more leads, which is what we will be getting into next. So I have these split up into two different groups. The first group we're going to just touch on is strategies that I would consider are going to be more well-known. However, I think it's still important that we make sure that we cover them and we're all on the same page. So we'll cover these well-known cost-effective strategies first, and then we'll go into the more not so well-known strategies that you can begin to leverage using your social media to help you garner and generate more leads. So again, the purpose here when we talk about any of these strategies is to really use the platforms as they are, which are social building and communication networks. So the first strategy we want to talk about is really just creating value for your following. A lot of times when people interact with you in your business, they are not in a position to adopt your service yet, right? Most people, if they're mindlessly scrolling on social media, they're not in a position always to buy or sell a home immediately, which means when you're on your social media platforms, I would say regardless of what platform you are using, you want to make sure that you're not being salesy, but you're actually bringing more value. That doesn't mean you can't tie your value back into your business to make a note of it, but the content that you're pushing out should not just solely be you promoting your business. You want to create and offer valuable content up front without pushing someone into that sales pitch. So making sure that if, again, your target audience is a first-time home buyer, the value you're offering is maybe you do a first-time home buyer's guide and you walk them through the process on social media and you provide a lot of that general information up front. So that if I'm a first-time home buyer, I'm looking at you and saying, wow, you actually provided me all of this value already, and I trust what you're saying, so I'm going to go with you as a real estate professional. And all that really comes down to the content that you're creating, that it's valuable without automatically assuming someone needs to enter into a transaction. So make sure that you're being value-led in the content that you are creating. The second more well-known strategy here is obviously to be engaging. That's the whole purpose of these social media platforms, is you want to make sure that you are creating content and you are engaging with your network because you want them to engage with you as well. So this is where you can have fun with it a bit. And you can have that fun interacting content to engage your audience. So this can be polls that you offer, right? It doesn't always have to be everything so specifically tailored to real estate. But the best part of being a real estate agent is that you are your business, and it's such a relationship-based business that you can post about other things. And that can ultimately tie back into your business at the end of the day. But you can offer polls for, maybe the holiday. What do you do this or that during the holidays? You can host giveaways and offerings, partner with your local businesses to create a gift basket, do a giveaway if someone is, if you like and share this piece of content, right, to help you build your engagement, you can be entered to win a $25 Starbucks gift card. So you want to make sure you're making it fun for people to interact with you. A big portion of this as well, when we talk about being interactive and building engagement, is also going to be making sure that you're taking a moment to respond in a prompt way to your comments and messages. Now, obviously, this can get overwhelming, but I would probably say at the start, most people aren't getting 100+ messages in their social media inbox. So when you're first getting started really building that engagement, it is more critical for you to really be making sure that you are on top of those communications, because you never know what someone can be asking. So on that note, if you're, especially on like Instagram or Facebook, where it might filter your messages that are being sent in. I know Instagram specifically does this, and I actually think LinkedIn does as well, where it says if they're not a follower of yours or you're not following them, it puts them in like a requests folder. Make sure you're taking a moment to go back into those messages as well, because you never know if someone's actually reaching out to you with a question. But all that to say, you want to make sure that you're using your social media to be engaging. best part, you don't have to pour money into being engaging, right? A lot of that is really just even pouring your personality into your social media. Number 3, obviously this one is very important, especially when we talk about, a platform like Instagram or a platform like TikTok that are visually focused, but you want to make sure that you're showcasing quality visuals, especially when you are promoting anything that's maybe like your listings, right? You need to make sure you're having that professional photography in place to grab someone's attention. So the visuals that you're using are going to be really critical in making someone stop on your piece of content. And then that should be also followed up by the actual copy that you're writing in your post. Just keep in mind, I think people spend a little more than 2 hours on scrolling on social media cumulatively in the day. So that's quite a bit of time for them to be scrolling, either landing on your content that you're sharing or just scrolling past it. And so when you have a quality visual, especially like I said, when you're using a platform like Instagram or TikTok, the quality visual can really just help you have someone actually land and take a moment to read the content that you're offering on your social media platforms. So not just from a listing marketing perspective to obviously showcase quality visuals for your listings, but it is actually really important when we talk about the social media initiatives as well, because also too, quality visuals can really showcase the quality of the experience that you offer. That if you're going to be working with a seller, you always do professional photography. And this is the way you showcase it, and I'll showcase how consistent you are between any and all of your clients. And then finally, for these well-known strategies is obviously use your testimonials. So the big ticket item here is that people trust people, and they trust people over business, which is actually even more beneficial to you as a real estate professional, because again, luckily for you, you and your personality make up your business. And so it's really important for you to be able to tap into those clients who had really awesome and successful experiences with you to help promote yourself, right? And maybe this is just something as simple as, hey, I'm asking Sally Mae to record a quick 20-second video. I just dropped off the keys. Can we just record a quick video of your experience? And then you can use that video on your social media. Because again, what that's going to help do is it's not just going to be you promoting your business on your platforms, but now you're actually leveraging other mindsets, other people to discuss their experiences working with you. Because again, if I'm someone looking to buy or sell a home, I want to know that other people have had a positive experience with you. If you actually provide that up front, you can help break down that barrier when someone comes to you as a prospect looking for a real estate agent to help them in that home buying or home selling process. So make sure that you're using testimonials to really build rapport on your social media platforms to talk about the successes that you bring and the experience that you offer as a real estate agent. Now, let's kind of talk real quick about some of the more not so well-known strategies for cost-effective lead generation on your social media platforms. So again, we want to make sure we're obviously, the reason these are all cost-effective is because you're essentially leveraging the platforms for what they were meant to be. You obviously can tap into paid advertising opportunities if you so wish, but by fundamentally using these social media platforms at the basis of what they were meant to do, you can actually garner engagement and reach and bring in more leads simply by just using the platforms how these organizations intended them on being used. And a big part of that is going to be our first strategy, which is simply optimizing your social profiles for SEO. And so a big part of this is simply because social media platforms, since they're founding, right, since they've started overtaking the world, is essentially that these social media platforms have really developed into their own search engines. So you can go into LinkedIn, you can go into Facebook, you can go into TikTok, into Instagram. You can actually type in the search bar for you're looking for something, and it will populate content and profiles based on your search. And so because of this, you actually want to make sure that you are optimizing your social profiles and the content that you're creating for SEO, for social media specifically. So what does this look like when we talk about optimizing your social profiles for SEO? So I'm talking about obviously having a high quality, profile picture for any of your social media platforms. But really what this comes down to is using keywords in not only your handles, but also in all of the information like your bios. for like Instagram specifically because it offers a bio. Or on Facebook, you're actually building out the Facebook page to include all of the necessary information. Because essentially what you're doing by providing all of that, Google and all of these search engines can scrape any of the information that you provide to help populate when someone is searching for something. If your content, if your profiles answer someone's question, Google and these other these social media search engines can actually pull up your content and information as a populace to someone's question who is using it as a search engine tool. So let's talk real quick about your bio specifically. So I think some really strong opportunities for you to optimize your profiles are going to be how you have named your, and if a profile involves a handle, how you've named the handle or how you've named your Facebook page. So the naming conventions that you use, I would always include some form of real estate. So if it's John Doe real estate, John Doe at MyHomeGroup, making sure that you're putting that in the title, right? Because that's one of the first items that's going to be scraped. The second here is your actual bios within your profiles. This is where you can actually be really more niched down in the information that you're providing. So if I am a real estate agent and I really focus on veterans, I'm going to put, I help veterans achieve, their dream home after serving our country, right? I help them in that transition period to find a home that's perfect for them. So you can list it as that in your bio as I help this person achieve this goal. You can also just say I'm a veteran focused real estate agent, right? So that itself is a keyword that someone could potentially be typing into these search engines that you want to make sure that you're including into your bio. So this is where it's really important to make sure that you include your niche. Obviously include any form of how you help someone, what is the benefit to someone for using you. And then of course, any resources that you can provide. LinkedIn allows you to include a link in your bio. A lot of the other social profiles allow you to put a link within your profiles as well. So make sure you're linking to any resources that would be valuable to someone, or you're linking them to maybe a landing page to help collect them as a lead. So definitely make sure you're tapping into that. But all of this to say, build out your social profiles, build them out to be focused on your niche. So if someone is specifically looking for a veteran focused real estate agent, your information can actually pop up. Same as if you're focused on first-time home buyers, if you're focused on empty nesters, right? If you're focused on downsizers, anything like that, your information in your profile can actually help someone find you. So it's going to be really important there. Plus also too, you want to make sure you just build out your profiles because again, that's where these platforms, they want you to include all of that information. So that's you tapping into in a positive way what these social platforms want you to be using your social media profiles for. So make sure you're taking the time to optimize those social profiles. Our second, not as well-known strategy is actually going to be leveraging partnerships. So it's really cool how these social platforms have garnered how you can actually partner with each other. And so really what I mean by when I say establish strong partnerships and networks, the benefit to you here is that you're going to essentially use someone else's audience and you're going to project your content and your profile and everything through them. Because when you partner with someone on social media content and you can use their audience, there might be a client within their audience that would have never turned to you simply because they didn't follow you. So this is where I think establishing strong partnerships is going to be really awesome if you collaborate with local businesses. And this can be where you kind of do the partnerships mixed with giveaways, partner with a local business to offer some type of giveaway to get people to follow you, to engage with your content. So you can partner with local businesses. You can even partner with each other at MyHomeGroup to offer fun things and engage with their audiences as well. So really the big benefit here to establishing strong partnerships is going to be you're leveraging someone else's audience to see if maybe there's some prospects you can collect from their audience. So it's a really cool way for using and leveraging social media without paying for ads. So you want to make sure you're taking the time to activate those untapped audiences by leveraging, again, either influencers, other local businesses that you partner with, potentially even other MyHomeGroup professionals as well. So this is a really cool opportunity for you to bring in more leads. The third here, you're going to leverage your local market. So this one in a way is kind of similar to establishing a partnership with local organizations. So we can definitely talk more on that, but I think the bigger key here is that these social media platforms have built-in locations, like geotagging, and that's where you can see if someone posts on Instagram or someone posts on Facebook, it says this post is from Phoenix, Arizona, right? So they've built in these location and geotag features. So a big benefit to this is this can actually help take your content and push it out to the right audience. So regardless, if you can't tag a specific business or a very specific location, you should at the bare minimum be just targeting your real estate market. So this includes not only using those location geotagging features where you're saying, this image is from Phoenix, Arizona, but this can also include your hashtags as well. So this could be Phoenix, Arizona real estate agent. This could just be Phoenix real estate, right? Because essentially what you're doing is you're trying to cover ground in your specific market. And by tapping into all of the location features that are built into these social media platforms, that can actually help drive your content within the market itself. So that way it's not like someone in, Colorado is seeing all of this Phoenix stuff when they have no interest in being in Phoenix. And that said, if someone is looking for a Phoenix real estate agent, that has the opportunity for them to pull up your profile because you've included all of that information in not only your bio, but also in your content that you're creating as well. So you want to make sure that you're leveraging all of the local features that are built into these social media platforms to help you gain ground on your specific market. So make sure that you're including those local hashtags. You can even do more specific, I guess, fun hashtags if you wanted to. So you could say MyHomeGroup Phoenix, or if you guys do if you partner with someone and you're doing a specific Phoenix-based campaign, hashtags can help with that as well. So make sure that you're taking a moment to leverage that local market to help you get reach within the market that you're located in. And then our final strategy here is going to be none other than leveraging artificial intelligence, specifically leveraging it for efficiency. So social media, there's a ton of social media marketing tools that you can really tap into that have AI features built into them to help you with efficiency. Perfect example of this is if you use a social media marketing tool and it has a built-in scheduler where you can essentially create your post and it will send it out. You want to make sure you're tapping into tools that help you make this process maybe a little more mindless in a way, and passive, so you don't have to be sitting at the computer 24/7 working on social media. So really leveraging social media marketing tools, they can help you to just save time through automations, like I said, like the sending features, and can even help you even pinpoint the best times to post as well. There are plenty of platforms out there that they will actually use the data from your social media platforms to determine when your audience is most active and when you can actually get the most engagement. And that's all because it's collected all of that information for you. You don't have to go in and manually collect information to find that. It's already built in through that tool. So some really great features that you can leverage through these social media marketing tools. Just some quick ones off the top of my head. There is Hootsuite. There's one called Later. There is Sprout Social. There is Social Pilot. There's one called Loomly, which I like. I think that's a really good one. So there's a ton of different opportunities for you to tap into social media marketing tools that have these built-in automations, and AI tools. Some of the AI tools can even actually help you to create content as well, which is really cool because, again, it's all built into that specific platform. But essentially, you want to make sure that you're using these tools in a way that helps you to create a more automated process. Another good example of this is some of these platforms do offer opportunities, even not necessarily attached to a separate marketing tool, but actually built natively into the platforms, like Instagram and Facebook. You can actually set up chat bots so that if someone messages you, they get an automatic response. And sometimes all that automatic response has to say is, thank you so much for your message. I check my social profiles regularly, or if you have a specific schedule you want to stick to, maybe it's I check my social profiles every evening. I will get back to you as soon as I receive this message. And that way there's a touch point with that person of, okay, like I know I can expect them to respond soon, but you didn't actually have to go in and put that message in manually yourself. So you want to make sure that you can tap into those features, like I said, that help you just automate the process a little bit more and can help you with efficiency without you having to manually do everything in your social media profiles. Because I think at this point, we've all pretty much learned that social media can very much be a beast, and you can spend a ton of time in it, but you don't necessarily have to be effective. And not only building that engagement and building those relationships online, but also too, you know, when we talk about lead gen initiatives, there's ways where you don't have to necessarily put all of that manual effort into it. You can automate some steps. So make sure you tap into that from the AI element for efficiency as well. So as we begin to wrap up, a lot of that is, like I said, really just kind of the groundwork for success when using social media, especially as a lead generative tool. And that's because a lot of those strategies are, again, playing off of the foundational elements of what these social media platforms were built out to be. The next steps after that, after you've really kind of honed in on some of those different strategies, is really just making sure that you're taking the time to be consistent in your implementation and also consistent in your monitoring as well. Make sure you're monitoring your engagement. Maybe you notice this post did not garner a lot of engagement as it should have. So you want to make sure you don't take effort and time into making another post like that because you know it doesn't receive good engagement. So making sure that you're taking the time not only to be consistent in your execution and your implementation, but making sure you're taking the time to monitor and adapt your social media strategy as well. You also want to make sure you're just encouraging that active engagement with your audience. Like I said, you're using those analytics to help you refine your approach. So you also want to make sure that you're staying updated on any of the new social media trends that you can maybe hop on for some boosts in engagement, or any algorithm changes. So a big individual I definitely recommend you follow, especially if you plan on using social media as far as Instagram, is Adam Masori, who is Instagram's CEO, posts videos, I swear what feels like a daily, about all of the different updates that they are doing on Instagram. The benefit of that is that when these social media profiles push out a new feature, you want to hop on that feature right away, because then that actually helps you with your engagement. Again, these social media platforms will reward you for using all of their features. So anytime they come out with something new, make sure you take a moment to explore it to make sure that it will work for your business. See if there's a way for you to tap into that new feature to help you garner some more engagement and potentially some more leads. So just remember, like any social media platform, as we wrap up here, the real key to success is really just being genuine and being value-led in your content, because you want to just make sure that you're building it out in a way that resonates with your target audience, and leaves them wanting more of what you have to offer, so that you ultimately can be that real estate professional that they reach out to when they are ready to buy or sell their home. So that is all I have for you guys today. I definitely appreciate your time. I know I've had this up on the screen for a little bit, but of course I can't do a presentation without a giveaway. Looks like we have quite a few people on here, so I'm willing to give away 2 free shoots to 2 lucky winners. So we'll have 2 winners there who will each get a free shoot. Just take a moment to scan that QR code and fill out that form that it takes you to. Let me actually just add that to your chat as well, so the link is easier to get to. And while I'm doing that, if anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer those. Okay, so the link I just put in the chat will take you to that same page that the QR code takes you to. As I mentioned, take a moment, fill that out, and I'll announce the free shoot winners by the end of the day today, and they'll each get an email notifying them that there's a free shoot on their account. Does anyone have any questions for me? Don't be shy.
Hey Rachel, Akai here. I just posted in the chat, and excuse me if it's a dumb question, but I am only a year in using social media, and especially as a business, I've never done this before. And so what I find hard for me right now is leveraging the social media posts that I use to actually attract new followers. Most of my followers on social media are other colleagues and other people that are in the real estate world. And so I'm trying to figure out a way I can get some new information out there to attract actual buyers or potential clients.
Yeah, no, fantastic question. There's no such thing as dumb questions here. I'm sure actually many people are wondering that as well. So wonderful question. What I would actually recommend you do is try to partner with, if you're trying to really focus on your buyers and sellers, right? Obviously, you want to make sure you're partnering with all of the vendors that you use within that transactional process. But I definitely would recommend, how can you tap into your community? And so what organizations that are maybe hosting events that you can tap into, and even have an opportunity to sponsor, right? Where they're pushing out your brand out there. Because a big part of social media and someone wanting to follow you is that they actually have an awareness of you. And I think a really beneficial way for you to do that is to partner with local coffee shops, partner with local, maybe just community organizations that are doing really good in the community, because their audiences are going to be those buyers and sellers specifically. And also too, that I think can help you to build more rapport with the community, because you're showing that you're heavily involved in the area that you help people buy and sell homes. So I would highly recommend that you partner up with some local organizations, local businesses, to help get that awareness to your brand. And that way, if you are going to any events, maybe some of it is a little bit more manual when you talk about someone getting to follow you. But if you're at an event, that's an awesome opportunity for you to take a moment to converse with someone, hand them your business card, request that they follow you on social media. So that's kind of a little bit more of a roundabout way, where you're not quite using social media to garner more followers, but you're actually leveraging the partnerships and the networks of your local community to help bring followers into your business specifically.
Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense. I'm also new to Arizona, so I am learning my community still, and I'm, learning new people. I am involved a lot in what goes on around in my community, so I'll definitely give that a try.
Yeah, and definitely see if there's any networking groups that you can tap into. So I know, I'm in Ohio, but we have a couple series of like business-based organizations that they actually meet mainly to just network with each other. And so that can be a really good benefit for you as well, as see if there's any actual networking groups, because one, that will help you just build relationships since you're new to the community. But two, you never know who you're going to meet there as well. So I think that could be a really good opportunity. Awesome. Great question. Any other questions from anyone? Hopefully that gave everyone enough time to fill out that form. Awesome. Well, again, thank you guys so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Love hopping on and providing you guys all of this information. I hope you found it really beneficial to you. Can't wait to see how you guys leverage social media and do it in a way that you don't have to pay for ads.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel, so much. You always do such a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Until next month. And then I'll make sure that everybody here gets a follow-up message from you, and we'll congratulate the winners.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.